Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be replacing a broken driver's side power window switch panel on my 2017 Kia Cerato Sport Plus YD series.
It's a switch here, which was semi-attached for a while. Now it's completely detached. And the window still lowers and raises if you're careful about how you kind of press the switch down and up. But the passenger side switch no longer works at all. So I'm not sure if there's some kind of connection there. So hopefully when I replace the switch, the passenger side window switch will become operational again. So what I'll do now is I'll show you the replacement part, and then we'll get on to removing the door trim so that we can access the window switch panel. In researching the correct window switch panel for my car, I discovered that there are at least 4 different models. So if we start with the model that's compatible with my car, it's this switch here. I'll see if I can get the model number to focus in. There we go. So it's 93571-A7400. And this switch has auto up and down on the driver and front passenger windows. So this switch is for the Sport Plus, which is the top trim in the post facelift, and the SLI, which is the top trim in the pre-facelift Cerato for the right-hand drive car. Now, staying with the right-hand drive car, the other model is 93571-A7300, and the difference between that switch and this one is that it only has auto down on the driver's window only. Moving over to the left-hand drive car now, and the switches operated essentially the same, but in reverse for left-hand drive. So I've actually got a equivalent left-hand drive switch here, although I have removed the switches because I salvaged them to get my existing window switch panel working until the correct model arrived. But this one here is model 93571-A7200, and like the 7400, it has auto up and down on the driver and front passenger windows, although clearly the window switches are missing. And you can tell that there is a clear difference between left and right hand drive switches because the window lock and the door lock toggles are in reverse. So just keep that in mind when you're searching for these online. And the other model for the left hand drive is 93571-A7000. So that switch, like the A7200 for the right hand drive car, just has auto down on the driver's window only. Now, the mistake that I made, and the reason why I'm covering all of this, is so that you don't waste your time and money. So the first thing that I will say is, if you have a right-hand drive Kia Cerato, do not waste your time purchasing and trying to make work a left-hand drive window switch. It's not going to happen. My plan was to buy the much cheaper aftermarket left-hand drive switch because they produce an aftermarket version for the left-hand drive cars, but as far as I'm aware, they do not for the right-hand drive cars, and swap the auto switches across to my panel, because this was around about $30 delivered from China, whereas this window switch here was listed at $100, but I paid $85 after making an offer, which was accepted. I did manage to swap over the rear switches onto the front window switches on my existing panel, which I'll show you in a moment. They don't really work properly, but it was enough to get the driver's window working. So the passenger window does not work, but for some reason, one of these rear switches on the driver's window switch enables it to work, and that was enough to get me through until this switch arrived. So yeah, moral of the story, if you have a right-hand drive Kia Cerato, look for a compatible right-hand drive window switch at a wrecker's, and don't waste your time with the left-hand drive switches. And conversely, if you have a left-hand drive Kia Forte or K3, just buy a compatible window switch for your car. You're fortunate in having an aftermarket window switch available to you, much cheaper than the genuine items. So with all that said, let's move on to replacing the window switch in my car. Okay, on to removing the door trim. So we've got 2 Phillips head screws, one inside the door pull just beneath the rubberized mat here, and then one behind the dress cover or cap here at the door handle. And then there's a series of clips, as you would find on most door trims, I suppose, that need to be released. And just at the front edge of the door trim, there's a gap here where you can put your finger to pull back and release, and you need to be quite firm. These are really strong clips. Just before I do that, I'll just show you what I did here with the window switch. So the passenger one, although the switch fit, it doesn't work, so it doesn't actually raise or lower the window. The driver's window does work, but you need to reset the switch. So it does auto up and down, but you need to make sure that you reset it, otherwise it would potentially burn the motor out by trying to constantly lower or raise the window, even though it is already lowered or raised. So anyway, we'll get this all sorted out now. So for this job, we just need a couple of screwdrivers. So we have a standard Phillips head screwdriver and a small flathead. So the small flathead is just to access the rubberized mat and the dress cover to get those off. While we are okay to remove the door trim now, just keep in mind that the door handle has rods connecting to the exterior door handle and the locking mechanism, so don't try to pull the door trim completely away from the car. What we'll try and do is keep all that intact. It can be disconnected, but hopefully we can avoid doing that just because it's a little bit fiddly to reconnect it. But yeah, we'll give that a go now. You've got to be really firm on this door trim. What we've got here is a harness for the window switch and a harness for the power window switch, so to adjust the mirrors as well as power folding if you have that on your car. And then here are the rods that I was talking about. So you can actually just unclip this from the interior door handle, and I'm going to go ahead and do that just so that we have better access and I can show you what I'm doing here when I'm replacing the window switch. To remove the switch, there's two ways to go about it. You can just release the switch itself with these smaller screws, or you can actually release the entire window switch around as well. So you can actually take all that out and then take the window switch out. So it's up to you whether you want to take all this out and then unscrew the old switch, or you just want to unscrew the old switch and leave everything else intact. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove the switch itself and leave everything else intact. Alright, so what you should have is 5 screws to remove the window switch along with the power window switch. Just for reference, the power window switch with the power folding function, model number is 93530-A7200. So what I'll do is I'll keep that just in case, you never know, something else breaks on the new one. I've got some backup switches that I can use. So now we will install the new one. Before you screw it all back into place, just make sure that you've installed the power mirror switch module first. So that goes in first, followed by the power window switch. And if you want to make sure that you've done it correctly, just flip the door trim over and make sure that all the switches are sitting flush against the trim. So we've done that here, so we'll now screw everything back in. Okay, there we go. We have the new power window switch installed. So just to recap, 2 screws at the rear, two at the front of the power window switch, and then 1 more at the front of the power mirror switch. So we'll get this back in the car now. So I've just reconnected the power mirror and window switch harnesses. I'll just test to make sure that that's all working fine. If it is, we can go ahead and install the door trim, and I'll show you how to clip the interior door handle rods back into place. So with these rods, you can see here that section there just needs to slide into the recess on the door handle, and then it just clips into place. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to show you on camera, but I'll just bring you in here so you can see that little recess there, the round recess, and then there's one here at the top. So the end of the rods just need to sit in there, and then it should just clip back into place. A little bit difficult to show you while I'm doing it because I've got to hold the door trim up with one hand as well as then try and clip them in with the other. But you can see here, you just need to sometimes pull the door handle just so it slots in before it clips into place. Same with the lock toggle as well.
Okay, job done. We have working power window switches once again. We'll just do a final test of the front windows with the auto down, and then the rear windows, which are not. But everything is working as expected. And so with that, I'll leave the video there. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching and subscribing. Cheers.